Good day, everyone. Today we're going to report about predictive validity. What is predictive validity?
In statistics, the term of predictive validity refers to the extent that is valid to use the score on the sum scale or test to predict the value of some other variable in the future. What is predictive validity? For example, we might want to know how well some college entrance exam is able to predict the first semester grade point average of student. College entrance exam to first semester GPA. To determine if predictive validity exists, we could use the following process. First, administer the college entrance exam to 1,000 seniors. Second, 1 year later, collect data on the first semester GPA of the same 1,000 students. The third, calculate the correlation between the scores on the entrance exam and the first semester GPA. What is predictive validity? Predictive validity is a type of criterion validity which refers to how well the measurement of one variable can predict the response of the other variable. One variable is referred to as the explanatory variable, while the other variable is referred to as the response variable or criterion variable. In our previous example, the explanatory variable would be the entrance exam, and the criterion variable would be the first semester GPA.
Pre-employment test. This is the example number 1. A company might administer a 40 pre-employment test to all individuals they hire, and then rate the employee productivity 1 year later. To determine the productivity of the employee 1 year later, we're going to use the predictive validity. To find the value, we're going to find first the explanatory variable, then the criterion variable. The explanatory variable in this example is the pre-employment test that will be conducted by the company, and then the criterion variable, which is the employee productivity, which we're going to predict, and we're going to use predictive validity on this. Take note that if there is a high degree of correlation between the scores on the test and the employee productivity, we can say that it is valid to use the predictive validity in the future to find the productivity of each individual. The predictive validity that we'll use on this is the test that will be conducted by the company, and the employee will take the test. That will be determine their productivity. If they got a higher score rather, it will determine their productivity. They will have a higher productivity because they have a higher scores in the test. But if they have a low scores on the test, the company will determine that their productivity in the future will be also less. That's all for this example.
So for example number 2 is IQ testing and income. So researchers might administer an IQ test to 100 individuals and then track the annual income of those individuals 10 years later. So explanatory variables for IQ test and criterion variables for annual income over time. So if there is a high degree of correlation between the scores of the IQ test and the annual income of the individuals, then the researchers can say that it's valid to use the test to predict the future income of individuals.
Example 3. Physical fitness. A personal trainer might administer a fitness test to NBA rookies and then record the average points per game scored by the players during next 5 years in the league. So explanatory variable is criteria variable. So take note if there is a high degree of correlation between the score in the fitness test and the average point per game scored by players, then the personal trainer can say that it's valid to use the test predict the future points per game of players. So ibig sabihin kapag yung score sa fitness test at yung score doon sa regular game ay kayang gawin ng players, pwedeng ma-predict nung personal trainer yung kayang gawing score sa next 5 years ng isang player.
Importance of predictive validity. So, the importance of predictive validity, it is the correlation between a test that enables people to predict future academic or work success in its results. And it helps define the quality and functions the test should perform. And companies widely use it to forecast the performance of their job applicants. And the last, this is the summary of our lesson. Predictive validity, it refers to the extent that it's valid to use the score on some scale or test to predict the value of some other variable in the future. Predictive validity is a type of criterion validity, which refers to how well the measurement of one variable can predict the response of another variable. One variable is referred to as the explanatory variable, while the other variable is referred to as the response variable or the criterion variable. It helps define the quality and functions the test that should perform. And that's all our report. Thank you.